with doing my first scenes with you guys, and Hugh and Patrick and Ian and all that, whilst I didn't go down on my knees at any point, if you know what I mean, it did feel a little bit like I was touching kind of like an icon here, do you know what I mean? It was the closest I've come to that. And I was touching their icons whilst I was on my knees. Wow. It's crazy how this stuff creeps up on you.
Let's move on to the next question. Hi guys, my name is Carlos. I'm from Comic Mania. Of course, I have a comic book radio show. One of the questions that, one of the first things I need to say is, Bryan, it's great to have you back. Thank you. All the fans in the world missed you. We really did. That X-Men 3, let me tell you. One of the things that I get asked in my show, it's one of the silly, stupid rumors that are always floating out on the internet. And one of them is that you're going to play with the continuity of the series and erase completely X-Men 3, which I think is ridiculous. But is there any truth to any of those kind of things about changing the continuity of the movie universe of the X-Men?
Of the universes established in the movies?
Yes.
Yes, there's some of that.
Okay.
Whenever you're going back in time, and this is every bit as much a time travel movie as it is an X-Men movie, there is those risks. And yet there are certain, so some of that's going to happen, and yet there are some things that, you know, if you believe in certain physics and multiverses and things like that, and then you also have a respect for the continuities we have it. And mine is I'm less so entrapped in those previous films. Again, I'm not the audience, I'm just the filmmaker. But I do believe in certain continuity that will maintain, but some things will change. It's the nature of time travel. You go back and mess about, things happen. So, so that's something that some of those rumors are probably somewhat true.
I hope you bring Cyclops back. He's my favorite character. Okay. Thank you very much.
Halle, you want to do the next question?
Hi there. I was just wondering, James, you just alluded to it. Will there be much acting with the younger versions of the characters in the same scene as the older versions? Because if so, that would be good.
That would be well good.
Will there be interaction? Primarily, since Wolverine is the journeyman, his interaction with the younger cast is primary. There is a moment, which you'll see a beat of in this reel I'm going to show, where these two characters come face to face with the younger self, older self. And we try to do it in a unique way. It's been done before, but I mean, my first opportunity to make a time travel movie, really wanted to do my very best to create a set of rules, respect them, and stay within the continuity of those rules. But there's a bit of interaction like that.
Next question.
Awesome. Now I know all you guys get along because you talked about how you were friends. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but Hugh, besides Wolverine, who is your favorite character on X-Men? Besides yours.
Oh man, don't be afraid, no pressure.
Yeah, there's no pressure here. Listen, it's a very difficult thing to storm. It's a very difficult thing to say. Who is my favorite? But it's also a hard storm to kind of separate an actor from a part storm. So my general rule is do as many storm movies with how many areas possible. We're both married, and it's very, listen, going back to the first question, I know that was a facetious question, I presume, but going back to the very first question, I'm in a perhaps unique position on this panel because the very first film I did in America was given to me by this man, and the film was X-Men 1. That was 14 years ago, pretty much got cast. It's almost impossible to believe. Like, I think everyone on this side of Bryan feels how incredibly unique, rare, lucky, and blessed we are to be able to, 14 years later, come back together. I mean, we all knew each other. You guys knew me before I had kids. My son was born just as we were making first one. I mean, so much has changed. We've gone through together. And if you were lucky enough in your life to be in a film with just these actors, you would count yourself about as lucky as can be as an actor. If you look to the right of Bryan, you see an unbelievable... Yeah.
He's all that.
this is what you get paid for, to work with them. No, in honest truth, this movie is two great movies in one. I can't believe the embarrassment of riches that I have, that I get to work with all of them here. And so the truth of the matter is, you will never get me to say who my favourite is. Stewart.
It's also nice, just things like when we started, even though they're both theater icons, Patrick and Ian, they didn't really know each other much, and bringing them together on this science fiction comic book movie, now they work together in the theater. They've done incredible shows together. They're doing Waiting for Godot and No Man's Land soon, which is going to be amazing on Broadway, and it's together. And that theater moment is a function of this comic book film, and that's kind of cool in a theater-loving way, which is, you know, is one of the many effects.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. So Michael and James, what about working together in the theatre?
Yeah. You want to do a play?
What about playing our matinees for us?
We're going to do play stuff? Yeah, we'll do the matinee. That's perfect.
Okay, next question.
I think I speak for the room when I say this is breathtaking to see you all on the stage here. So can you talk a little bit more about the first reaction you had when you even heard of this project? Did you think this is insane? Did you think this is impossible? Did you think this is about time this happens? Because this is not your regular sequel. This is more than just one sequel.
It's an in-between-quel. It really is. An in-between-quel.
But it's in the spirit of the comics, isn't it? I mean, the comics go forward and back, they change the history, and you're never quite sure where you are, they change the look of the characters, and the movies are in that, the mayhem of the X-Men world, but running through it all, of course, is this very important story, very important message. It's about our lives, however fantastic the characters are.
I heard about this movie and I was immediately filled with such sadness because most of you probably won't recall, but at the end of 3 I was vaporized by and that really hurt, by the way. You know, I hope it never has to happen to any of you. And so my assumption was, well, you know, there's going to be Ian and Halle and Hugh and everybody back, but it won't be me. But something happened, which I'm not allowed to talk about. Am I? Oh, you can if you want to.
No, we just, characters come back to life in comic. I just have to, whenever I do something, I can't just do it flippantly. I have to at least believe I have to believe that in the idea, the conceit. So in my own mind, I understand how Xavier is alive from X-Men 3. There's a beat at the end of X-Men 3 after the credits when his consciousness is sort of inside of this woman in a hospital. And then you take that, you mix it with some powerful mutants. I mean, mutants can do a lot of cool stuff, so you can imagine anything's possible.
So does that mean that Xavier is back?
For the moment.
That should be the tagline for the film, X-Men. Xavier is back.
For the moment.
Catch it.
But this is science fiction, and a moment could be anything you want it to be.
Yeah, just, yeah, you know.
We're digging a deep hole.
But in seriousness to that, another thing about this movie that's different from the previous X-Men films is there's a science fiction aspect to it as well. There's technologies, there's the Sentinel program, which is something that's going to be part of the picture. So you've got the time travel and the science fiction elements are things that haven't been as explored in X-Men films in the past. So that also made it a challenge and fun and unique.
We have time for one more question.
All right, I wanted to ask you guys about the costumes this time around. How you felt in them? There's a lot of 70s gear. You're back in your Storm outfit while pregnant. You're basically naked this whole time. After wearing the costume in the last one, now you're full blue.
She's pregnant, I'm naked.
Sounds like a
Come
great
see the movie. Yeah, we all really